Hello friend, this is Paper Kitty. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, well, I sure hope you enjoy it. I am currently working on this picture here, and I'm kind of going over some texture that I applied, some texture paste, and so now I am putting a little bit of brown, and I am using my watercolors, and then this is my watercolor pen, which basically is a pen that has water, and you can, just basically use it as I did right there. It's kind of a dripping method, which it is tricky because you don't have a lot of control of what happens. It's kind of like you just gotta let the water flow where it may. And so I am just kind of little by little adding a little bit of that brown. And yeah, I mean, at times when you're in the middle of a picture, you may really find that you're not liking what's going on, but I think one of the beauties of mixed media is that it is very forgiving, and you can usually cover up what you're doing because it is a bit of a messy process, and that is part of the joy of it, part of the fun. Now, that doesn't mean you don't end up with mud sometimes, because you do. It's like, get ready for that, because that happens. And so here I am spreading over the texture paste, like I said, and so those dots there are that texture paste in the top, and you can kind of see here how it's starting to turn color. But further along, you'll see that I do add a little bit of a darker color because I don't think it's showing enough. But as you want to do with the mixed media, and usually with most projects, is you want to start little by little, and you want to start with lighter color, then go to a darker color. It's typically a little harder to do it the other way around. So it's easier to add than it is to take away. And so here again, I'm getting onto some of that texture, and just kind of evaluating it, and again putting it on this other side here. And yeah, like I said, I'm doing it little by little, and so you want to do it that way, just for a variety of reasons, but probably it just kind of gives you ideas, and as it kind of gives you some time, it allows you for your intuition to flow sometimes also, I think, when you do it that way. And so this is what I got so far, but of course it's not finished. So and like I said in the video before, I could have probably left it alone, without adding the texture, and that would have been a completed picture. It would have been fine. But yeah, I just wanted, again, this is a mixed media project, and so I just wanted to keep playing, especially with texture, and add some more richness. And so now I'm going in with the black pastel. And so yes, it's definitely a stronger color, the strongest color, if I may. And so as you can tell, again, very messy, not a whole lot of control, but there's a little bit more control with the pastel, and so I do like that. And so you see my fingers are dirty with the black oil pastel color, but I'm going ahead and just letting it go over that texture, and because again, I'm wanting to add I want that texture to show more. So for that to happen, I did need to go a little darker. And then, of course, the black creates shading. So that's the interesting thing to me about black because, like white, black is a very interesting color in, what it does besides give a certain color and tone to things. It actually gives it shading. And so, and then, white is similar in that it has more than just a color, I guess, making it a white. It's more of a highlighter too. So, but anyway, here I'm coming back in with my white, not white, excuse me, my watercolor pen, which is basically that pen that I've been using the last few videos, and it's just got water in it, and you can kind of add or go over that color pencil or the oil pastel. But as you see here, I had to erase a little bit. Keep in mind, guys, that I am working on a napkin collage, and I haven't Mod Podged it yet. Obviously, that's why it's taking the color. But I did gesso it. I put the clear gesso, and that's why it is taking the color, and it makes it a little tougher too, because it would be quite impossible for me to do all this on just plain napkin. So now I've written out these words that were on that piece that I fussy cut from a magazine, How to Grow. But it ends up kind of not working out. So further along, you'll see that what I ended up finding was a washi sticker, and I ended up putting over that, and I think it ends up looking better because I didn't really love the way that looked. I thought it was a little too small as well. So yeah, I'm going back. Like I said, I'm not satisfied with how much you can see the texture, but I'm struggling with adding such a dark color, which is black, because this is a very light and bright picture, and so it gets a little tricky when you start adding the black. But again, I was mainly wanting to add it for the effects that it has on this different mix of elements here. So yeah, I continue to work here, and I start putting on a little more of the white gesso now. As you can see, it's kind of going into the crevices of the stenciled areas there that were, that modeling paste. And so you can see the pattern better. I think it's definitely showing more. And so now I'm adding the white gesso just with my fingers. Again, it is, kind of tricky because you are, basically just getting pretty messy with it and just kind of random. But I think there's something special about it when you use your fingers. I love, for example, the different effect that it gives on the borders, and then even on the around the border areas, the color, it just looks like it has more. It gives it the effect of a texture. So now I am grabbing some gesso, and I am splattering. I don't have the splatter. There's a brush that's particularly useful for white splatters or black splatters, which are the ones that are typically used. But I went ahead and used the white ones, and I didn't, because I don't have the proper brush, it didn't give me like really large splatters. It's just kind of like really skinny, tiny ones here and there. But I think that's what I wanted, because it just kind of lightened it up just enough. and you know, but it's not big splatters that are covering any of the images. So now I grabbed this Mod Podge that is pearlized, and you know, honestly, the reason I have it is because it was on sale. It was a really good sale. Usually Mod Podge is not cheap, and I think this was a couple bucks, so I was like, hey, let me play with it. And so I found that you really, unless you really play with it for a little while, it does overwhelm your images, so you can't just paint a whole page with it. But what you use it for more is kind of like a highlighter, and since it's sealing it, it kind of works out because I kind of wanted to have that dual purpose there. I wanted it to highlight the butterflies, and I wanted to highlight a little bit of those edges and border of this picture. And so now I'm going to go ahead and get the other Mod Podge, and this is the Ultra Matte. And because typically for doing videos, if I use the regular or the high gloss, I think it would be more difficult to see the the images on video, to be honest with you. And so I tend to like to have the mattest matte Mod Podge sealer here. So I am now covering my whole picture with that. You want to have strokes going in both directions, up and down and left and right. So here is the way it ended up looking, and I hope you love it. I love it. I love the way I ended up going back with some old makeup. Yes, old makeup. I had this kind of like gold lipstick that I've had for years that I just couldn't get myself to throw it away. And same thing with this eyeshadow. And so I used that gold because I still felt that the black was too black. So I thought that was really fun. I had seen somebody use makeup in some of their mixed media projects. And this is the girl. This is the girl's face. And I told you I would show you the close-up of the washi tape. And this is the other little butterflies that I used in there. And those are the Maggie Holmes butterflies. And so I use those as elements too. So anyway, I hope you like this. Please leave me some comments below. Let me know if you like it better the way it turned out, if you liked it better when it was just with the black, and if you like it before I started adding texture. So yeah, it would be nice to know what y'all think. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you would like to continue to view my videos, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell and the all option so that you will know when I have a video that I've made for you. Thank you so much. Love you so much. Love you so much. See you in the next one. Bye now.